to headline alongside megastar Lionel Richie on a worldwide tour. But Richie's publicity team convinced them to consider veteran lady rocker Tina Turner for his opening act, and Irene was not requested to join the tour. It totally revitalized Miss Turner's career, and again Irene was seeing the bitter side of fame as she had a few years earlier. With the pressure of having to do a follow-up to Flashdance and to maintain her superstar status as a pop diva, Irene's hasty decisions would prove almost fatal. First, she starred in 2 back-to-back box office disappointments. She tried to shed her sweetest saccharine good girl image in the first one, entitled A Certain Fury, co-starring another Academy Award winner, Tatum O'Neal. The story was about 2 girls on the lam wrongfully accused of a courtroom shooting. The promotional ads read, 2 Academy Award winners star in this action-packed drama, and the critics wrote, giving 2 of the worst performances in recent history.
You just don't get it, do you? Get what? White, black. They'll grab us in 2 seconds. I want you away from me. Now! What are you gonna do? Kill me? Go ahead. Do it. Stop being such an asshole. Why should I? You leave me out here covered in this shit and as good as dead anyway, right? I mean, why not get the pleasure of it? If you hate me so much, kill me. What am I supposed to do? Feel sorry for you or something? Break down in tears? Is that it? I just need a place to get clean up. Sit a minute. That's where you're going, right? I just want a place where I can figure a way out of this mess. You killed a cop, you jerk. Don't you know what they do to people that kill cops? We didn't kill no cop. Why do you keep saying that? It was an accident. You know, for a nigger, you're stupider than you look. Don't you ever call me that again. You hear me? Don't you ever use that fucking word to me again. You illiterate white trash whore. Huh. Jesus. Just a word.
The second was Busted Up, starring Canadian-born actor Paul Koufis and Irene's co-star in Roots, Stan Shaw. It was the true life story of a boxer and his estranged wife, who was a nightclub singer.
Do you take this woman
What about the fighting?
to love, honor?
What about the fighting?
Look, maybe you two need a little time to just...
Would you be quiet a second?
Come on, will you get it over with?
I want to know, now!
I got an obligation. And that's it.
Swear it.
Please, Daddy, swear it.
All right, I swear it.
Do you take this woman?
I do.
Do you
I do.
place the ring on the bride's finger?
Ring. Get a ring.
Neither film did anything to help maintain her reputation as a serious artist, and she appeared to be aloof and alienated from her black and Latino audiences during this period. She then decided to make some strategic career changes. Around this time, in the early part of '86, she cut her ties with her former record label and signed with Elektra Asylum Records. She then hired Nile Rodgers of the Chic fame, George Duke, and George Johnson of the Brothers Johnson to produce her third album, with songs written by the producers along with Michael Bolton, Danny Zambello, and Irene herself. She continued in the studio day and night perfecting her new project. All seemed well until Network Records filed a motion to stop promotion of the album. They said Irene reneged on her previous contract. The courts ordered Elektra Asylum to cancel distribution and all production of the new album entitled Charismatic. The order also prevented Irene from performing older new music anywhere in the United States. Irene was devastated. Fully equipped with a new sophisticated look, more mature sound, and top writers and producers on an all-new record label, it all seemed to be fleeting right before her eyes. She found a temporary solace in the person of Conrad Palmacito, one of Hollywood's top stuntmen who also served as stunt coordinator on several major films at that time. The two married on April 13, 1986, just a month past her birthday. The newlyweds settled in California, just outside Los Angeles. And while Irene was working on her latest album, Conrad continued to work as a stuntman in numerous films in Tinseltown. He even tried his hand at directing and cast her in a low-budget feature entitled Maximum Security, the story of a married couple imprisoned on a remote island.
No, it's absurd.
It is the law. It is my right as your wife.
Are you crazy? We don't even know what's there.
Eric, I have no one left. Not even a cousin. Only you. I will go where you go.
Ava. Ava, don't go through with it, please. Don't. About choices even a long time ago.
She was my friend.
The film went straight to video. The vicious fight between Irene and her former record label, and with Conrad being away most of the time shooting film after film, it put a strain on their relationship. The marriage was short-lived, lasting only 3.5 years. They divorced, citing irreconcilable differences. With her career on the down spiral and her failed attempt at marriage, Irene temporarily resorted to the use of cocaine.
You know, certainly didn't have needles in my arms, nor did I smoke anything, okay? But the fact that so much of the rumors emanate from people who are putting it in your face, you know, constantly, and who are in a position of power and who should know better.
This was a dark and painful time for the young singer-actress.
Got to a point when it was ruining my health. And I hated it. I hated doing it and couldn't stop. You know, without some kind of help, you know, to get the longing for it out, you know, out of my system.
Even though she was constantly in the public view, the very private Irene managed to keep her personal life out of the spotlight and out of the tabloid news. She sought help and kicked her drug habit very quickly.
Beautiful family of close friends out here in LA and back home who have known me for many years, since before the fame, and some who are, you know, more recent, who love me and support me. I mean, life is hard enough, you know, and if you don't have people around you who you love and who love you, you don't have much of anything.
With the love and support of her parents, Jasper and Louise, along with her relatives, friends, and her loyal legion of fans, Irene pulled herself together and began seeking work again. She was asked to sing theme songs in the hit animated film All Dogs Go to Heaven with R&B stylist Freddie Jackson, and then for Long Shot, a film starring comedian Tim Conway, and for the true story China Cry for the Trinity Broadcasting Network. Soon after, she landed the lead role in Happily Ever After, the belated sequel to Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Irene was the voice of Snow White, who by now was to marry Prince Charming and had encountered the dwarf's cousins, the Seven Dwarf Elves.
I haven't even introduced myself. I'm Snow White.
Snow White? Our cousins told us all about you. You and the prince were to be married.
We were coming to invite the Seven Dwarfs to the wedding, but something terrible happened. I was attacked and carried off by a horrid bird.
Didn't the prince come to your rescue?
Oh, he tried.
Isn't that what a prince is for?
We were separated, and now I'm afraid something horrible has happened to him. I've just got to find him.
Irene's vocal talents were used along with Phyllis Diller, Zsa Zsa Gabor, and Carol Channing, and Dom DeLuise, among others.
I noticed that she had my mouth, my overbite and everything, to draw on a lot of creativity and a lot of imagination to make this work, because it's just you. It's you and your voice. That's all you have. And then they draw the animation from that, from the sound of your voice. It's an amazing process.
She even sang the title song in the film. Then tragedy struck again when executives at Disney sued Filmation, the company that produced and distributed the animated feature, and it was soon pulled from theaters just weeks after its release. Another animated feature entitled The Magic Voyage, about the story of Christopher Columbus, in which Irene provided the voice of Marilyn the Firefly, didn't fare well either. But the ever-optimistic trooper Irene then scheduled a tour abroad, starting in Japan. She was received with an overwhelming welcome. She continued touring Europe and Asia as a solo artist and as a special guest act for George Duke. She then made her way around to Germany, where she garnered much success as a dance club artist and recorded several dance singles abroad, soaring to the top of the charts. She mostly performed in Europe and Asia throughout much of the 90s, and even recorded her fourth album entitled Precarious 90s. She returned to the States and to her theatrical roots to tour with a revival of the musical masterpiece Jesus Christ Superstar, and won rave reviews as the harlot Mary Magdalene. After the nationwide tour ended, she jumped into another project into which she toured on a revival concert showcasing movie-themed songs of the 80s and 90s. Then there was the musical play entitled Low Magic, which ran for about a year in several states. After the show ended, she landed guest starring roles on television such as Hearts Are Wild and Gabriel's Fire, starring James Earl Jones.
What is it with Nigeria? Chicago needs doctors too. You want to work where it's rough? Look around you.
You're talking about Nigeria. I have to get back to Santa Barbara.
Oh.
You want to know why Nigeria? Because it's important. And it's important to them. And I like the people better. Look, why don't we just admit it wasn't the right time to try and do this?
Why did you call?
I was curious.
20 years no father. You're curious?
Thomas made a very good father.
No, he raised you. Big difference. Why did you call?
I don't know.
Not good enough.
Oh, great! I thought you could slay dragons, walk on water, put your life on the line for black people. And when the kids tease me about not having a father, you know what I tell them? I'd say my daddy's a hero. I'd never say my father was in jail. Well, one day I woke up, and no matter how many times I tried to say what you really were, it just wouldn't come out. You know what it's like to tell us without a father?
No.
Because if you did, you never would have shot that man. You say you shut me out because you didn't want me to grow up seeing you behind bars? Did you do that to protect me or you? Goodbye, Mr. Bird.
She returned to Europe and hooked up with German-born disc jockey and renowned personality DJ Bobo in 2001, remaking her 1980s hit, What a Feeling, and scored an instant #1 on the foreign charts. The remake had a hip-hop dance edge to it, and clubs all over Europe ate it up. She was asked to perform with DJ Bobo on numerous television events and live in concerts in many countries across the globe. However, American radio didn't respond as well. It never aired in the United States. After her stint in Europe, Irene returned to the United States to make a new start and began personal projects she had been working on.